Hey everybody, this is Jeffrey Jansen. How's everybody doing today? Today is March 2nd, 2020. I hope you're all having a great day. We'll give a few minutes for everybody to join us here. I hope you can all join us tonight. There's just been a lot going on today, and I realized that a lot of people out there have had a lot of situations going on, and I learned of a couple people that lost their um parents lately, and some friends, and I had another guy commit suicide in front of my friend Vern the other day, and just wow, just the world just seems like it's crazy, and it is. And tonight we had a Marine Corps League meeting, and you know, it's funny because a lot of times I do a lot of talking, and I do it for a reason. It helps me process in my head what needs to be said. It also gives me a chance to think about and ponder what everybody tells me throughout the day. And so when I can then take what is pondered and take what is said, I can then put it out to Facebook to try my best to maybe help somebody or say something that'll help somebody out. And tonight, it's a simple message. You matter, you're important. You know, one of the greatest things that can happen is also one of the saddest. When we lose our loved ones. When I lost my grandma at 98, she just wanted to go home. She wanted to go back, and she wanted to see her husband and stuff like that. And it was terrible on all of us. It hurt us, that she died. But it was a great thing. And sometimes we have to look at situations like that to understand that when people are no longer suffering, when people are no longer hurting, they're no longer, as people get older, they lose their friends and family and everything else. And those are sad. And it's even more sad than when we lose our friends to suicide, depression, PTSD, because we don't always understand what is going on. And one of the things I love about the Marine Corps League, one of the things I love about helping and the Derby and everything else, we're always doing our best to help people. And it actually helps people with PTSD because they get to go out there and they get to see people and they get to help people. So not only are they helping themselves by doing the different volunteering, such as things that are going on maybe in the hometown or around them, but they themselves are the ones that need to help people. And the one thing I can promise you, and I've seen this, and it is my own personal theory, but I know for a fact this helps. The more we help people, the more we help ourselves. That doesn't mean you got to be weak. It doesn't mean you got to give money. It doesn't mean anything like that. It just means you got to give yourself. And if you put yourself into something and you help people and you're kind to them, it doesn't matter how they take it. But if you put yourself into it, you yourself will be a lot happier. And I know a lot of people that go through depression. I know people that, they lost loved ones. I know some people, they can't have kids and they want to have kids. I know several people like that. My friend Paula, and the reason I'm going to mention her name is because she passed on, okay? And it's funny because Paula, she's a friend of mine from high school. I mentioned my buddy Jeremy Fletcher, too, who died of bone cancer, that died when we were in high school. But I'm going to focus on Paula just real quick. Now, one of the things with Paula was her mission in life, she put smiles on people's faces. It didn't matter how bad people treated her or how she always had a positive outlook on life. Till where one day she didn't. But because she was so positive with all of us, I remember me and Charlie Shortridge, we actually walked out of a class because the teacher became kind of hostile towards her. And we weren't going to deal with it because we knew who this person was. And one of the things that Paula always wanted to have is she always wanted to have a kid. She was never able to, though. But she treated all of our kids and she treated us with so much love that they became children of hers. Because all she knew was love. And that's all she could show everybody. So the day she died, and I don't know too much about what happened. She died because she loved people, in my words. Because her heart gave out. She couldn't have kids because she had a weak heart. And she's never going to be forgotten by people like me and the people that love her. Now, why do I bring this up? Because she was loved, and she did matter to people. She didn't always know it. She didn't always think it, but she should have. Now it's been what, 2 years now, almost three maybe. I'd have to ask Amanda or a couple of my other friends I graduated high school with. Another one of my friends, and how I learned about bullies, or not necessarily bullies, but I learned how people we maybe not always see eye to eye with can sometimes turn out to be some of our greatest friends. And growing up, I lost my mom to cancer, and I went to the public school system. And when I went to the public school system, I didn't really have any. I didn't know too many people. You know, I was kind of socially awkward. I still am socially awkward. But there was a guy that I met, and he liked football and stuff like that. His name was Jeremy Fletcher. And Jeremy's always going to live through me a little bit because one of the things is I noticed one day he was going to my church. And I knew he was in high school and stuff like that. Or he was in high school. He was in high school with us. And he never really said too much to me, but all of a sudden I started seeing him in church. So I went up and talked to him, and I became friends with him. And one of his best friends, Jay Sparrow, and a couple others. And before we graduated, Jeremy got his degree before all of us because he wanted to graduate with his class. And he died, of course, and he was buried. And he's out in the same cemetery my mom is. But Jeremy, because of the bone cancer and stuff, he never let it bring him down. And he knew he was going to die. Here's a kid that knows he's going to die. And instead, they are still living in us, giving us inspiration to live for them, to keep doing whatever we can because they had so much life. Yet then I look out and I see people with PTSD. I see people that are depressed but they don't understand that right now they need to live for those that can't. They need to be there and they need to reach out. And the more they do, if you actually get outside your box and you do a little bit more with your life, you will never regret it. There are going to be people that put you down. I've got people that put me down all the time because they think what I do is fake, or they think that, oh, well, he's got all the money. I don't have any money. I donate my time because my family has taught me that it's better to give more. And I say that because I learned this from my family. Okay, they always volunteered. They always were part of the church. They always did the picnics. They always did. I just took it one step further when I realized that I could be helping a lot more people. And, being a single dad, and I get my daughter every other weekend, we split the time, and I get along fine with her mom. People just assume they know me. They don't. And I'm not worried about me because, like I said, my friends know who I am. And they're great. And I've got their back on different things. But it's when we do not act in a human fashion anymore, when all of a sudden we feel that we got to start, instigate stuff. That's why I tell people to go where you're celebrated, not tolerated, and you'll be a lot happier. If you're around people that just have to be negative all the time, negative, 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 they don't want to help anybody. They tell you, don't do this, don't do that. You need to get away from those people because they're not going to do any good for you or anybody else. And the only thing they're going to do for you is put you in a negative mood. So when you get around people, tell them how great they are. When you get around your friends, find that one thing that's great about them and tell them. Give them a hug when you walk away. Give them a handshake, okay? You can be the strongest person in the world and know it, but you still can be kind. Peaceful strength. It doesn't really matter, okay? Defend somebody if you see them. I may not always agree with somebody's lifestyle, but I'm going to defend it. Why? Because one day you're going to need them to defend you. And if you defend them, they may or may not agree with you, but they will defend you because it's the right thing to do. Now, what's today about? Well, we all matter in our own way. We all have made friends in areas we never thought we'd make friends with. I've got Democratic friends, I got Republican friends, I got left-wing, liberal, all these other kind of friends, I've got friends that are black and white and green and gray and brown and every color rainbow. I got friends that are gay and straight and bi and swingers and you name it. I've got friends with it. And you want to know something? That doesn't change who they are. It just means that I get to experience life. And no, I don't practice these lifestyles. But because I have friends that are from all over the place, I'm actually a pretty happy person most of the time. And I'm grateful for the friends I have. And I'm grateful for the family I have. Because before my mom died, she always told me everyone's a friend. She never taught me hate or intolerance. She never taught me, You know, and my dad's never taught me that, and my family's never taught me that. And I know people are like, well, you come from Quincy. That's right. And you want to know something? We're taught to like everybody. We treat people how we want to be treated. And if they don't treat us like it, then we walk on. Same with go where you're celebrated, not tolerated. If people can't treat you with respect, move on. Because you deserve respect. But you also need to show respect. Okay? Now, not everybody believes in God, and not everybody believes in the power of prayer. I personally do. And I tell people, if you don't, that's fine. I'm not going to judge you because of it. And where I'm from, we lead by example. I know I had one of my buddies kind of ask about my Catholic faith, and I kind of told him back, I was like, I can question anything I want to question. That doesn't mean that I don't believe. It just means I'm allowed to question whatever it is. And to not be able to question something would be wrong. That's how we move forward in life, is we question everything. Kindness, strength moves us forward. Questioning everything around us and not being mad about it. Questioning something doesn't mean you disagree with it. It just means you want the answers to it. And sometimes you can't get the answers. I'd like to know where the common cold cure is, but we can't find one, can we? Or how about the rhinovirus? I'm going to keep questioning it until we find one. So not to question religion, not to question faith, not to question each other, not to question who we are as human beings, not to dig deep within the psychological profiles of each person. Why? What are we so afraid of that we don't want to ask questions about? What makes me happy is we can ask questions. One nice thing is, when I was reading on Facebook today, there was a quote. It said, the gods envy us. It doesn't matter what gods. Because we can die. So we have to live every day like it's the greatest day in the world. Why? Because we're guaranteed to die. We are guaranteed that our friend's going to die. So every day we have to live like it is the biggest blessing in the world to have today. Because today, this moment we have right now, is a blessing that we all have. And the gods who can never die, or the God who can never die, they don't see it that way. They don't have to look at things like it's a blessing every day, because they're going to be here. We're not. So every day we have to treat like it's the greatest, like right now, it's the greatest moment in the world. Why? Because you're here and you're special.